Yeah, her name was Kitty. So on our first episode, that person.
Oh yeah,
was the
yeah. I've watched
first-
some of that.
Yeah, that was the first guest. That's how this podcast started, and then later on, Julius gets involved. We bring him on. He's got his own ideas. He's doing mad interesting things. Starts a business, and we've got this vision of where we can take it. And we've gotten a few more guests. He introduced me to a music artist he knew in Leicester called Skinny. We went to Nottingham. We linked up with some people who made a clothing brand, and they're younger than all of us here. Like they're 18. They're still in their first year of uni. One's in the second year. They started a clothing brand which is making what? Told me 10 figures. So
You said 10 figures?
Yeah, no, sorry,
10,000 plus.
five
so
figures.
Five figures.
So five, my bad.
Bro, I was gonna say, yeah.
But and he's done this when he started this.
Wait,
in college,
5 figures a month or a year?
5 figures from his first drop.
Oh,
And
from
that
his
would have
first
been
that would have been very short time.
Yeah, very short time.
Yeah.
But it would have taken him quite a while to research all his products and things, etc.
Probably
So,
try stuff, get things wrong.
but
and
think
that's
about
how-
that as a 17-year-old, 18-year-old making that much money.
Yeah.
And I just thought that, and we met
It's
so many
inspiring,
more
you know?
people. So that's where we've been, and that's how it started. And God knows where we can take it. That's our inspiration. I want to know what's yours.
Bro, it's changed. Actually,
What did it start with?
I'll tell you.
Oh, but speak into the mic, like
How? Like this?
yeah. Or you
Is-
just get closer to the table and speak
Yeah,
into it.
just like this. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Like
speak into
here.
the table.
I feel
You
like
don't
I'm
have to
very
be too
close.
You don't have to be too close, but just speak.
Speak directly into it?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll tell you something I don't think many people know. My close friends do.
Okay.
I don't know if it's inspiration, more like motivation for what drove my actions. Because firstly, I was I was thinking about this morning. 5 years ago, I was nothing like I am today.
Yeah.
I was a very fat kid, very, very, very overweight.
Yeah.
And my
You're
day
so now. I've seen you
Sorry?
in a cardigan. You're pretty built.
in a cardigan, did you say?
Yeah, yeah. You was wearing a cardigan once. You were pretty like.
Was I? Thank you.
Gym going, yeah.
But yeah, my day consisted of like waking up, eating, playing video games for like 8 hours, going to sleep.
Yeah.
It was a very sad existence.
Mm.
I derived no joy from it. I was a bit happy that I was like decent at some video games, but it means nothing. It's pixels on a screen, right? There's only so far you can go.
Yeah.
And then 2019 had basically a breakup. I wasn't sad about it, but I just realized I had so much time on my hands. I should do something.
Yeah.
So I was like, why not start running? I started just for the habit, not to lose weight, because I've tried losing weight 4 or 5 times before.
Yeah.
Never worked. So I was like, what's the point? It won't happen now.
Yeah.
So I started running. 2-3 weeks in, my clothes are a bit looser. Like, oh, I'm losing weight for the first time when I'm not trying.
Yeah.
And I was also eating less, because the calorie deficit is important. And so then I researched how to actually lose weight. And they were like, oh, resistance training, all this stuff. And
Aggressive overload and.
yeah, and I optimized it so insanely to the smallest details. So to the point of like managing insulin spikes, the size of the meals I have, content of the meals, eating Brazil nuts and macadamia nuts to boost testosterone and stuff with more selenium and then magnesium for sleep. I was very pedantic about it, like very to the minute detail. And that was year 12 for me, end of year 12. And then March 2020,
So you're 17.
COVID hit.
Coming up on 18.
Yeah, no, I just turned 17. And then COVID hit. And then those 6 months, I was at home working out. I got a set of dumbbells at home because you couldn't go to gym. Working out, eating less, and dropped about, I was 100-ish. I dropped about 35 kilos to 65.
Wow.
And so I go back to school in year 13. And I've also grown up my hair. It's now curly. Because it wasn't like, I looked nothing like I did before.
Yeah.
And I would never look in a reflection, never look in mirrors, because I thought of myself as very unattractive. I didn't like how I looked at all.
Yeah.
And looks are not something I gave attention to. But the first like motivation of my life was looks, because I got compliments. And just coming onto that, I came into year 13. From the moment I walked into school, every person I interacted with just saw a different person. They were completely shocked. They were like, bro, you've lost so much weight.
Yeah.
What can I say on this actually? Can I say like
Speak as freely
graphic?
as you like. Speak as
Say
freely as you
whatever
like.
you
Actually, as a medical student, I can't say some of the things. But they were some of the compliments I got were very aggressive compliments as
Like
well.
what?
I'll tell you afterwards. I don't think
I can censor it
You're
out
gonna-
if it's
we're
that
gonna cut
bad.
it, we're gonna
But
cut
what
it.
what
We're
did they
gonna
say?
cut it.
You're going to cut it?
Yeah,
You
we're
promise
gonna
you're going to cut it?
Okay, I'll
Yeah,
cut it. I'll
promise,
cut it.
promise.
I'm edit. I'll cut it.
There's this one dude. He was like, I came in on like a non-school uniform day. It was a nice outfit.
Yeah.
And this dude was like, bro, you look so good. I was like, what? Bro, at least if you want to use it, censor it. Censor it.
Be like, bro, you look so good. I wanna, and then people can guess.
Censor it because your guys' reaction was good.
Yeah, we just do the same thing with the music and
Stuff
That's
like that.
wild,
So
bro.
that motivated me
Yeah.
to. I thought looks were super important.
Yeah.
That motivated me to keep my looks up. So I woke up in the morning, 5 o'clock, hair routine, stuff for skin. Very pedantic routines. Gym every day. My style, hair, skin, physique. I changed everything completely. I thought that's what the most important thing was. Then I was like, okay, I've got like looks are fine. I need to make some money. I'm young. I'm someone who should realistically provide for myself. Because growing up, my parents always said, don't worry about money, just study, work hard,
That's what
get a
reasonable
job.
Most parents do say. I said
Yeah.
60%. Yeah.
And also, I think it's different because I'm from Sri Lanka, for context.
Okay.
And it was a bit different because growing up in Sri Lanka, there's a very...
Oh, you was born there?
Yeah, I lived there till 2015.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I only came here like relatively recently.
Yeah. Oh, but I wasn't born here. I came here in 2014.
Oh,
I was
okay.
born in Ireland.
Oh, okay, I didn't expect. Yeah.
But growing up
But-
in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, because there we were in like very, very poor country, don't get me wrong. But we were in like a small bubble, if you will, of people. Is the mic okay? Yeah, we were in a small bubble of people, if you will, of wealthy people who had everything, people who have drivers, maids, that kind of stuff. Coming here, life is very normal.
Yeah.
But when I was over there, that's what it was like. So my parents were always like, don't worry, just study hard, work hard, you'll get a job. So I never even considered making money myself until I was about this time, 16, 17. So I was like, okay, fine. I've got my like physique sorted out. I'm not a fat kid anymore.
Yeah.
I'm disciplined. Let's make some money. So then I moved on to that, and I Googled and tried most of the ways to make money online.
Dropshipping and all that stuff.
affiliate marketing.
more like SMMA, affiliate marketing, TikTok stuff, everything.
I
And
went through that phase in COVID. Oh my.
sorry, yeah. Because you had time in COVID as well.
Bro, I used to sell food in school.
You sell food. What kind of like
Yeah.
snacks?
Snacks, Kit Kats, Lucasades.
Mm.
When I was 14, 15. And when you're young and you see £50 a day, you think you're rich.
Yeah.
£50 a day, even today, if you're like at uni, if you're making £50 a day, you're doing something right, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Let me get onto that actually, because the money had the next mindset shift, right?
Okay.
So I tried everything, but these were like big projects.
Yeah.
But I like a big like business to start.
Yeah.
But while I was doing that, I found this Instagram thing, right? I was like, oh, you could grow Instagram pages and monetize off that, selling promotions, story posts, regular posts, stuff like that. People would pay you if you had a big page. And I came across this one video that was like, so I thought I'd do this on the side, by the way. I thought I'd do the main whatever side hustle, and then do this Instagram thing just on the toilet, or on the bus, post a few things a day, manage Instagram pages. And I came across this one video, was like how to get 1,000 followers in 7 days on a new Instagram theme page. Because you're not posting your own stuff, you're reposting other people's content and giving them credit. How to get 1,000 followers in 7 days. I watched it, the dude did it. I was like, oh, that looks very doable. Every step in that video, I can sit there and do. I'm very capable of doing that. I just need to take action on it. So I started a page, I tried it, and I got 1,000 followers within 5 days. And I was like, oh, wow, this is super, super doable. I kept growing that page in year 13, silent, by the way. I didn't tell a single soul in my school. Because even now when I tell people about the pre-Clinify stuff, that, I've started this startup, people are like, you used to talk about business, it's nice to see that you've done something. But people don't really know that I've been doing something since a while ago. So that came, and at this point, my motivation was money. Only the thing that inspired me, get up in the morning and move and actually do things. And then about a yearish after, coincidentally, it was on results day. So I get good results, good A-level results. I got 3 A stars, but no offers for med.
That's unfortunate.
So I was completely lost in life. But that was when the day I actually got my first payment online. It was $5 for a story post, and I was gassed. I got no offers. I'm going.
Proof of concept.
Yeah, proof of concept. So I was like, I don't know how far this could go now. I've got about 60K followers on one of the Instagram pages I'm running.
Really?
Yeah. I can actually.
Wow.
No, continue.
my phone's over there.
Plug it on, you know.
No.
You can plug if you want.
I could show you guys, but I don't use it anymore actually, at all.
What, you've not sold it?
I haven't sold it either.
So you get 60K. You got 60K followers. You got your first payment of $5. What happens next? No offers on results day. What happens next?
Wait, it's dropped now because I don't use it at all. It's like 52K. That's a gym related one. I had a few pages.
Oh wow! So you're a proper social media manager.
When we make clips, I'm gonna ask you for a lot of this again.
Yeah, have it. So you can just show. And I used to run another one, like a meme page that had like 40, 50K and like overall about 100-ish, 120K-ish followers total.
Wow.
I managed. And I was doing, and then I was like promoting stuff off that. And I promoted in multiple different ways. I tried to find different ways to promote, with a commission of promoting apps. Like there's one called Sweatcoin where you walk and you earn money. You might have heard of it. Promoting stuff like that. Direct promotions of people who want more exposure. And over the next year, actually the first month I started making money, I made the most money I'd made on like off that stuff. But over the sorry,
What did you make?
Do you mind declaring your margins?
it wasn't it wasn't crazy. But that month, again, this is off sending literally just messaging people on Instagram, right? I made 1,500.
Wow.
And I remember, because again, I've never told anyone. This is another reason it kept motivating me, because my friend was like, "Oh yeah, I was doing tutoring. I made £300 this last month," and my tongue was kept to my mouth, not speaking, because I was thinking on the day I made the most money, which was a few days ago from when she's telling me this, I made £315 in a single day, and I was like, I just made her whole month's side job salary off sending messages on Insta. This is insane. Like life is different. Like if I don't want to work ever, I don't have to. Like this can pay my rent.
Yeah.
Like I'm chilling. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, I feel like the day you realize that social media can actually pay your life is when you think, you know what, I'm gonna take this seriously.
But go on. I want to hear. It sounds like it's gonna land. So go on.
Yeah. So that happened, and then this is over gap year because I had to take a gap year. I wanted to reapply to med because, to be honest, if not medicine, I don't think there's anything else I go to uni for. And I know that's an unpopular opinion because I told my mum that, but I didn't tell my dad that because I don't know how he'd feel about that. But I was telling my mum, if not, I might learn how to code, go into software development, which is something I can do, but I don't like doing because I feel like it's a bit of a headache. Even now for Preclinify, we hire software devs.
Nikhil does it.
Nikhil does stuff. But what was I saying? What was the last thing I said? Oh yeah. So over the gap year, I kept running this, and the thing is, one, it wasn't scalable, and three, there's only three things I needed. Oh, I did some promotion for artists as well who make songs related to the gym. So I needed three things. I needed Instagram, I needed PayPal, I needed Spotify. Instagram and Spotify for the artist stuff, and Instagram for the pages to grow playlists and promote stuff.
PayPal to get money.
And PayPal just to take money.
Get paid, yeah.
But the thing is, because neither of those three are under my control, I own none of it. Like I technically own none of those assets on someone else's created social media, right?
Yeah.
I had problems with Instagram, had problems with PayPal, had problems with Spotify.
Like
Spotify, the playlist I was promoting kept getting taken down. Instagram, content strikes. PayPal, I got banned off PayPal like 5 or 6 times, 5 or 6 different accounts.
For what?
The first time it was like, so I made PayPal when I was younger than 18, which technically you're not meant to do.
Illegal, yeah.
And then they were like, oh, you've made like, I don't know, like €2,200 or something in total so far. Could you put some, like a passport picture or something to prove your identity so you can pay tax? I was like, fine, gave the passport. And I didn't think they'd do this backwards, but they tracked my age. So they were like, you made this account before you're 18, therefore we're banning you because it's not within our terms and conditions.
Did you lose 2 bags?
No. Because every time something came in, this is the total I'd made.
Legally,
Everything that came in, I always took out.
Yeah.
I think it was like £150 or something stuck in that. I think. Yeah, but
Oh, okay, yeah.
Go on, yeah.
You didn't have like 5,000.
Even at 150, I'd have lost my mind.
yeah, but it's just when all this was happening, everything felt very money is numbers on a screen and nothing more to me. And it's very easy because you were talking about the value of money earlier off camera, right? Mm-hmm. And I think I didn't get that in a sense because of how almost easy it felt to obtain money. I know that it is difficult because I worked a job as well in Commonwealth. So I knew how difficult it was, like just comparatively, because I'm running these Insta pages, but I'm also, because I worked for the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham because I lived in Birmingham. So I knew how much work you had to put in. I had to be there basically 7 days a week, 30 days of the month, with like 1 or 2 breaks here and there, for X amount of money. Whereas I know same way to make that same amount of money via social media so much easier.
Yeah.
So because of that, it actually didn't feel like I couldn't get £150 out. I didn't really care because it was just essentially internet money, Wi-Fi money, free to me in a sense.
I understand. I get what you're.
Whereas if I worked a job and I made, let's say, £300, I would struggle to spend that £300 because I'm like, this is, I don't know,
That's
like
a week's work.
yeah, like 30 hours of my life at a £10 an hour job, right? I just couldn't spend that. But now I keep savings. If I need to spend something for myself, then like extra, I would. But if not, I don't. But mainly I've only bought things from my money. I've only bought things from my mum, my sister, and charity donations. I haven't really spent much of like anything on myself, actually. But yeah, grew through the gap year, and then I got bored of it because of those problems. Everything kept getting hit. Everything that could get hit would get hit. And you kind of have to, with any business, I feel like you have to expect problems to happen. It's never linear. Like you have the idea, you have the plan for execution, you could have the step by step. Something will go wrong.
Things always go wrong. It's
And-
how you bounce back.
Yeah, and instead of being sad when that happens, I kind of predict it now. Like not predict it in the sense that I know what's going to happen, but accept
prepared
it.
for it.
Yeah, like
Mentally.
accept it in the sense that it will happen. Just deal with it when it comes. So because of that, and it got kind of boring because I was making a similar amount of money, on average about £700 to £800 a month. Again, doing almost nothing. Even at uni, first year, I was doing this. But I wasn't, it didn't excite me anymore. After like a year, just the same thing didn't excite me. It wasn't too easy to scale as well. So because of a combination of those things, I kind of stopped it, focused on uni, studied, got good grades. And then more recently, in the past few months, we come to pre-clinical. But overall, since you were asking about chest pain, bro.
Inspiration and all that.
Yeah, but Julius was asking if I was if I was okay to disclose stuff as well. Overall, through the social media stuff, I got low 5 figures from all the stuff.
Wow.
And this was like, especially to like an 18, 19-year-old kid, that's
Oh, yeah.
mind-blowing, bro. Mind-blowing amount of money. But
Yeah.
On-
yeah.
I want to
Go on.
touch on how you've been able to monetize social media, because in my kind of household and how we've kind of seen things, social media has always been seen as an enemy. It's the negatives and the negative attributes of it have always been emphasized a lot more. So I wasn't even as a kid, like as a teenager, I wasn't even allowed to have social media platforms and stuff like that. And it would always be like a constant battle, like with my parents and like all the relatives to like allow me to be on them. And then for the first few years when I used it, I just used it as a teenager would, message friends, send funny stuff over and stuff like that. And then in COVID, that's when I feel like my mind kind of switched, because ever since then it was very simple. I've do my GCSEs, get my A's, A stars, whatever, do my A levels, do that, go to uni, study medicine, blah blah blah. Life's good after that. But then, when I was watching, it may have even been an Ali Abdal video. Shout out to Ali Abdal, one of the greatest medicine YouTubers. I must have had an advert before one of the videos, which was like, how to make £3,000 for your house. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I've seen like a million of
it
those.
was one of it was like a middle-aged guy by some beach with probably like a bunch of women and like and cars, and like it's designed to entice like teenagers into their pyramid scheme. And the back of my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, this might be a scam, but then they make it look so realistic and believable.
And so doable as well.
Yeah,
like anyone can do it.
And then like you sort of start going through a few rabbit holes, and you realize that there's a lot of barriers and a lot of stuff which they don't tell you. So you try. So I tried and failed like a few stuff there, and eventually I completely changed my attitude to social media, and going from something which just wastes time and you can't really get any utility from, to something where you can actually benefit from. And then I made my piano Instagram in 2020 with my friend. We started posting piano clips like every week, and it was getting decent traction. Got a few thousand followers off that, and then from that, I saw there was a lot of promo piano pages. So I created my own promo piano page, Talent on Piano, got 1,000+ followers very quickly, and but then I just got bored of it very quickly, and like I just finding you've done it a lot longer and a lot more detailed than I have, but the process of finding videos, getting them, reposting them, other people's videos, and commenting, captioning, especially when your heart's not in it, I gave up quickly, and then I switched over to a meme page I made about my area. I'm not gonna disclose it.
Why not, bro? It's not too bad.
I don't remember what I put on there now, innit? But I like on that one. I like to remain anonymous. But yeah, I had a meme page which had a couple thousand followers, and it was getting really good traction. And that's when I kind of realized that I could tap into the humorous side of myself more, but I didn't really know how to tap into that. And then after that, I started TikTok, and this is when I realized that TikTok was overtaking Instagram around 2021, 2022, when you could get a lot more engagement on Instagram, on TikTok than Instagram. So then I created a TikTok where I just posted day piano songs, day piano covers, and I got like to 700, 800 followers, nearly 1,000 very quickly. And I think because I had a massive conflict in my mind, like, do I want to go down this social media entertainment route, or become an artist, or someone who makes music covers, or do I go and do something like medicine more full time and focus on that? Because I was so kind of conflicted, I never really locked in with any of those specific social media journeys, but I did learn so many skills. So by the time that I started coming online a lot more into things which maybe you guys have more seen, which has been the TikToks which I make, or even this podcast that we're speaking on now, what a lot of people won't see is that we collectively have spent years behind the scenes affecting and really optimizing our content and our ability to not only convey information but also attract people to see our content, stuff like that. And it's something which that there is a lot more in-depth skill than what you can see on the surface level. And while it is very inspiring to see people making incredible amounts of money online, kind of doing what they love, like Avi, who just bought his first car of TikTok, together with other more famous influencers, you forget that a lot of it really is like a job, and a lot of it is even harder than a job and takes even more mental strength, because there's no one there to pick you up whenever an account gets banned, you don't get many views, you get shadow banned, and it's like, in those times, like, it's so tempting to just quit and to give up completely. And to anyone who's like grown any social media pages and started anything, my advice would just be, don't ever stop. Even if you do have to take breaks because it's getting too stressful, you have other stuff in your life, yes, take a break, but never stop, never give it up. Like, because I really believe that had I kept every single one of my initial social media ventures going, mine would even be a lot higher. But because I wasn't sure about where they were all going and what the end goal is, it's hard to see a direction, so I just kind of stopped. But even if you can't see the direction and the end goal of something, it's important to just keep on going, because what I've realized is that doors will open for you if you're consistent. Like, you don't need to go and look for the doors. People will come to you and give you opportunities because they see your consistency and your dedication. Just keep that up, and that's all I need to do there.
Yeah.
I say I'm different to both of you. And the thing is, I'd say this is probably because it's the only kind of social media thing, and I wouldn't even call this social media per se, but that's it's debatable. But you talked about money and jobs you guys have had. He was actually quite successful doing his piano thing. With the way his parents brought him up, he's performed at a couple weddings.
Funerals.
So he made quite a
services.
considerable amount of money. And you sound like you made quite a considerable amount of money doing the things and you made in social media. Me, on the other hand, I work sort of more regular jobs. I think I work like 5 jobs right now. JD, McDonald's. I worked as a delivery driver for Royal Mail. I worked as, I don't know if you've ever been to Oxford Street, but there are these knife crime people. I've worked for them as well. I worked for a door-to-door sales company. What I sort of learned from that is that those times I was just getting the money because, you want to have a bit of, bit of money as a kid, £1,000 here, £2,000 here. What I actually learned was when I was working as a delivery driver or when I was working at Mackey's, like, the person next to you is working that job to pay his bills. Like, he needs every single shift. Like, he needs every minute of that. And I'm sort of there to get a few bag or two so next term in uni or maybe to be a bit more comfortable or have a pair of trainers. And I sort of just looked at it, and then other experience I've had looking at other people work, and they don't ever seem to enjoy their job or enjoy themselves. It's like they're here because if they're not there, they're gonna sink. Right? They're there to float. Yeah. They're really there to survive. So starting this is kind of like to sort of, they call it the 9-to-5 rat race, the matrix, but either way you want to call it, I don't feel like I want to be working for a living or working. I feel like you quickly, when you're a kid, or what do you want to be when you're older? It's no longer about that. It's like you're there to pay your bills, your mortgage kind of thing. And every job I've worked at, I've seen like very old people, and these are like presumably jobs for like younger people, but I've seen very older people there working diligently kind of thing. That's kind of my back. Not really. I never really, really came up on a social media thing. But seeing it, truth be told, I look at it from a different angle. Of course, you can make money on social media, but you can sort of make money doing, like I said, I sold food in school and I got money, and I reached my first £1,000 as a 15-year-old. Like, I felt like the richest man in the world, kind of thing. You should be, bro. That's way before me. That's way crazy. I don't know, but it's different timeline.
How did you raise your first bag at 15?
That's insane. You start off with £1, you buy this, you make £2.50. You take that £2.50, you buy 2 packs, you make £5. And honest to God, that's how it gets. But it's funny. It's a funny story. I look back and I think about those times, and I sort of thought, you know what? Somehow, some way, I'm going to be rich. I'm just not going to do it. But I don't know. I look at these things, these online things, you talk about drop shipping, affiliate marketing. I don't look at them like a scam. I sort of look at them like there is no get-rich-quick scheme. I think what a lot of people want to downplay is the element that luck has to do in success. And I think people don't realize how significant luck is, and whatever you want to call it, luck is just a word used to describe something going in your favor that you have no control over. And it might not go in your favor, you might be unlucky, but luck is so big that people don't realize for simply trying, 80% of people who try in anything will fail. Simply for trying, you're risking failure, and failure is the most likely outcome. Even with social media, most people end up failing, crashing out. With most jobs, most people won't be able to climb up the ladder and succeed and maybe get into higher positions and get into more money. Can I touch on that? But before let me land, even with some of these affiliate markets, I don't even look at them like a scam. I look at them more like they're just giving you another method, whether or not it works. It might work, it might not work. It's most likely not going to work because, most things won't work.
It depends on the character as well of person. Pardon? It depends on the character of a person.
But even that with luck, I'd say 2 people can put an equal amount of effort and go overboard and analyze every detail and be scrupulous, and it can just not work out for either of them or one of them, and that's the thing that I've thought about for a long time. I think luck is so significant.
I used to kind of, I think, echo some of your points here a little bit more about thinking about how luck is a significant factor in making it in the social media music scene and stuff like that.
I think in any scene, not just that. Yeah.
In any
industry.
particularly more creative industries where it's less of a meritocracy, more of who is in the right place at the right time. Something maybe a little bit more methodical, more scientific might be like, I don't know, the path to become a consultant or investment banker. There is definite steps there to be, but the path to become a touring artist, there's no definite line. Like that luck almost is an essential factor. But I think but the best way to spin it is that you need to put yourself in the right spaces to be lucky. Like, think of it as gambling, for example. If you're chucking in 100-to-1 bets, things which are just unlikely to happen all the time, eventually you're gonna lose all your money. Like, all that time you're gonna spend, it's gonna be inefficient, and you're gonna end up with nothing at the end. But the way to succeed, I genuinely do believe that majority of people, nearly everyone, can succeed in today's age in something creative. What they need to have the mentality of not being fazed by challenges and shortcomings that come along the way. And the reason why 90% of businesses, 99%, whatever statistic you want to give me, fail, is because 90 to 99% of people are not resilient enough to go through the challenges that it takes to succeed in a business. And it's like, let's say, for example, let's say I do an event, yeah, and the DJ cancels last minute. That's enough to make 50% of people be like, oh, I'm never doing this again. But then you got to learn from that, and the responsible thing to do would be to apologize to the people, say, oh, I'm sorry that you cancelled, and essentially, and learn from it. Take all the criticism, the necessary criticism you receive. And I think the criticism and like the struggle breaks down so many people. And while luck is an essential element, as is what you remember, as what you've said, stuff like networking can manifest more chances of favorable events happening.
Yeah, I agree with that, because
a lot more you can control.
I was going to say about the topic of like kind of engineering your own luck. So there's stuff you can control, like you were saying, and there's stuff you can't control. But a lot of the time, the stuff you can't control, you can increase the likelihood of severely. Like, let's say let's say someone successful happened to send one cold email to an investor, got loads of money from the investor, ended up going on to build some crazy company. But at the same time, I could send 100 emails and get nothing. I could send 1,000 emails and get nothing. But all I needed was that one email to make me successful. And to engineer that, if I just sat there every single day making sure I send 100 emails to 100 different investors, following up and having like some sort of follow-up sequence to each investor, making each thing personalized, doing my research. If I did every little bit right, and I did every little bit consistently and systemized that, so that I can stay consistent with it, eventually I find it difficult. Your chance would be significantly higher. I find it difficult to think that you would be able to fail.
I'll have to oppose that, and it goes on to some things I've observed in some people. I think there's a sort of new culture of mentality people. You know, the wake up 6 a.m. gym.
Oh yeah.
Table. There's who seem to believe failure is just impossible if you do all the right things. I think even some people, like, and to each their own, but some people tell me often, like, about, for instance, it will be small characteristics like timetabling, for example. I'm not one of those people who feels like I need to schedule things weeks in advance or add things to a calendar kind of thing. It will be many things. Like, we have a sort of toxic mentality that if you failed, it's just because you didn't do it right. I don't think people realize you can do everything right and still fail.
I think that's true.
That's an absolute possibility.
I think that's becoming true when it comes to stuff like medicine applications and applying to the more general workforce.
No, I don't think. Honestly, that's like.
I agree with the med application thing, because I did not get it the first time, bro. I did everything right.
That's why I'm
still fail, man.
I'm not from a social media background like either of you guys, so I couldn't care less. Like, you could get. I don't even think social media is. Sincerely, you two will get offended, but I've said this to you. I don't think social media is legitimate.
In what sense?
It's not like a real job. Like, if I wanted to start a business, I'd have to like start some sort of I didn't want to start a sort of brick and mortar business, an address, an office space, a building, or something. I'd sell like I respect more brick and mortar businesses as opposed to social media business. That's me personally.
I understand why.
But
it's tougher to get into that.
Let
as
me
well.
even that the most people have this feeling in their head that You only get rich in today's time because of social media. I think that's absolutely.
I don't
foolish.
agree with that.
No. People think it's like a silver bullet to
Social
everything.
media,
It's not.
It's not a silver bullet.
But it makes life a lot easier. Like 20 years ago, you couldn't make money as easy as you could
I'd
today.
say what the point I'm trying to get at is, I don't care what business it is or what venture you're doing. You're trying to become a footballer or a musician, or you're trying to start a tech company, or you're trying to build your version of the iPhone, or you're trying to find a cure for whatever thing you're trying to do. You can work like I'll give you this example. There's a person. His name is I think it's Alexander Ian Fleming. I forget. He was a World War I soldier, right?
Okay.
He was so. What he said was he felt so sad about watching his friends die and watching people die, and he couldn't help him. So after World War I, he's now left. I think he's a doctor now. He's working on research for a cure. Most people die from infection, not from the injury, from infection. And he's researching, trying to find something that's going to stop these. They know what bacteria is. He's trying to find something that will stop the bacteria from killing all these people, because most people are dying from wound infection, not the wound itself. If you can save people from dying from the initial wound, most will be killed by an infection. And he's unable to find anything until, by mistake, he leaves the petri dish open, and some spores in the petri dish that occur naturally everywhere. He starts to find zones where he's swiped the bacteria, where the spores have fell in the petri dish, the bacteria has died. So he's accidentally discovered penicillin, and penicillin is actually 80% of our antibiotics used today. And this wasn't the purposeful, deliberate research he was doing yielded no results. But the accidental, lucky finding of penicillin has saved millions of lives, maybe hundreds of millions up until today. And that penicillin or the accidental discovery of insulin or so many different things has saved how many lives? And these are things that they're by chance, they're by luck. It's not by design, not by action. And I can name so many other different things for so many other different businesses. One of the first, Steve Jobs, he was looking for another company. I think it was called Xerox Lasers. It was a printing company.
Okay.
They shelved an invention that he later used to come up with the Mac or something like that. Somebody else will do the research and find the exact story. But this company had an invention that could have made them so much money, but they shelved it. They think it's useful. I think it's like a laser or something. Steve Jobs stumbles across it. He buys it, or he takes that patent and he uses it, and where is Apple now today? I don't think people have a sort of toxic mentality that these sort of influencers who say everything you can achieve whatever. You can't achieve whatever you want in life. You need to realize, first of all, you're lucky that you said it yourself, you grew up in a pocket of Sri Lanka is a poor country, but you grew up in a pocket where people are wealthier. You were born in a first world country, I was born in a first world country, and we all got access to education, rights, healthcare, etc.
Incredible privilege, yeah.
That luck in itself beats the luck. You don't compare yourself to, people say the rich white person who was born in a rich family inherited. That's irrelevant, man. You were born in a country where you had rights, you had education, you had food. You didn't have to family. That luck in itself is more than anything you can ever describe.
We all take it.
I agree. Yeah.
Now let's find the luck of becoming successful in your business, becoming successful as a footballer, or getting into whatever degree of your choice. I don't think you can't just achieve anything through. You can maximize the possibility, but the luck will always be such a significant factor. But nonetheless, what I'm trying to get at I think there really is a sort of toxic mentality, influencers growing up trying to make it like, I don't know if you've come across Red Pill or certain Fresh and Fit. Like, take for instance, you losing weight. Now a lot of people can feasibly lose weight, but some people just can't. People with this mentality will look at them like, you lose weight because it's your fault. They'll say you're a fat piece of shit. You don't want to try and fix yourself. But some people just can't do it, and I don't think that.
Yeah, I think
people want to acknowledge. You just don't want to acknowledge that. That's what I'm trying to. Yeah.
I think the luck part is very minimal, though.
I don't think luck is so significant.
It is there, but it can be minimized so much. Like, for example, right? If I start a company and I become incredibly successful, and then go on to start my second company, I'll be able to make that one successful a lot faster. Like, have you seen the show?
You won't make the first mistakes you might have made in the first. You learn a lot. But go on, have you seen
Have you seen the show? I forgot what it's called. Basically, Undercover Billionaire. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Basically, they take someone who's a billionaire.
Yeah.
You've seen it.
I think I've heard
And they
this
put them
concept.
some remote location with nothing, no money, no name that they can use, no network, nothing, and they have to survive and build a business in 90 days. And every single time when they do that, the person becomes successful and builds a successful business in a very short amount of time, simply because of the characteristics that they are.
Okay.
So right now, how I aim to do things, because the startup company we haven't launched, I make nothing off that. But with everything that I'm doing at the moment, it's very much purpose driven and it's also character driven. How can I build certain aspects of my character to build a successful character that can tackle any industry successfully, rather than just try and make this one thing successful and trying to think that, I should get lucky in this, if that makes sense.
You say that, but I'd say be careful what you see on television. But
I agree.
okay, but you use that example. Maybe it's true. I'll bring you another example. I think it's called House Swap. I've seen. They take a rich family who's got plenty of expendable income. They put them in a family who's got a decrepit house, moldy walls, no expendable income. After they pay their bills, they got £20 a week left. They take the poor family, and they now put them in the rich family. One episode I've seen is of this rich or wealthy West Londoners. The wife will work, everyone works. What the wife says of the wealthy family is that I can't imagine not working. If you don't work, you're a lazy bum. The poor family who's now moved into their house, so I can't work. I've got these kids to take care of. I've got all these responsibilities. I'm not going to get the opportunity. I want to, but I can't. What I'm saying is, you get some successful people who don't acknowledge where they've benefited without having to put any effort. And then you look at the people who don't succeed, and it's because you didn't try. So many people have tried, and so many people have failed. You talked about these restaurants. That statistic has always existed, but it became popular. Do you know Gordon Ramsay, of course? What people have now said is, even if Gordon Ramsay helps a business out, and not the business that they've helped and they don't want to take on their advice because they're stubborn, they've got ego, even the business that takes on the advice, that restaurant, within 2 years, they will still fail. Look outside. I can point to you many restaurants that are not going to be here in 5 years, or many restaurants that weren't here 5 years ago. And I remember even COVID itself, take that for example. There are many people who just did not bounce back. There's nothing you can do about it, mate. They're not bouncing back. I remember there was one restaurant I used to order from late at night in Canary Wharf. They're gone now after COVID. They're gone. Full stop. Most people who try are going to fail. They're just going to fail. You do medicine, right? You're a medical student.
Yeah.
You're a medical student. And you're trying to start a business where you sell...
Essentially medical resources for medical students.
A lot of people are going to do that, and a lot of people are going to have those ideas. And there are going to be ones who are smarter than you. There are going to be ones who are stupider than you. There are going to be ones who work harder than you. There are going to be ones who work less hard than you. Most of them are going to fail. You might even fail. I don't want you to fail, bro. I want you to get every penny in the world. But most people... No, I do. I want you to get every penny in the world. And once you get that money, don't vote Labour in, because I want you to keep your money in it. But that's a separate thing. General election coming up and that. But yeah.
Political discussion. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, do you know, I've got a lot to say about entrepreneurs and things I see about entrepreneurs in it, but most people will fail. Actually, it's just it's a part of life that you have to
accept.
You have to
the
accept.
older you get, the
You
more
can't just say
realistic
if you do everything right, mate. There are people doing everything righter than you that will fail, but you just got. Of course, that shouldn't demotivate you.
It has to motivate you to try even harder.
You can't.
And don't even put all your eggs in one basket.
Don't.
If one fails, at least you've got another one which is doing all right.
The problem is that I have is these influencers are convincing people that if you do everything right, you'll succeed. No, that's just wrong.
It's misleading.
That's completely misleading.
Because I think like this, when you watch a lot of adverts, like the purpose of an advert is to mislead. And when you're being pumped full of adverts on every bit of social media that you see, on the walls, on television, every time, you subconsciously start to believe it. You subconsciously start to believe that playing for Arsenal as a kid isn't actually that hard. I just need to train every week. Bro, you tell a 7-year-old who's just come back from training, he scored 10 goals against his team, he's like the best in his Ibarra. And you tell him like, bro, it's really hard to play for Arsenal. He's going to be like, bro, what do you mean? I smoked these guys, I got into my trial, I'm going to make it as a footballer. What are you talking about? Like, and maybe when he gets to 16, 17, Arsenal drops him, or let's say, and a music artist is selling what, like 2 million streams every few months or something, and then out of nowhere, either they get cancelled or the genre of music changes, and no one wants to hear about them, no one knows about them anymore, and it's like
they say you get what, 2-3 years in the rap industry is your time.
Yeah, and who unless you're
Drake
heavily influenced, but you can count those people on your fingers.
Yeah.
Out of how many tens of thousands of
Where's
people?
Lil Baby now? Where's the baby now?
The baby. And,
Where's Megan Trainor now? Where's Ed Sheeran?
Yeah, with a lot of those industries, especially music, it's very.
People are fickle.
It's because it's very trend driven. It's very difficult to stay on top because if you want to,
because I feel like if you're not providing any like real value and you're just providing maybe commercial entertainment value, then it's difficult for it to stick long term. Like if you're doing something like medicine where you're providing genuine, real human value, improving someone's life, then yes, that's always going to be in demand. But if you're hopping onto a trending genre of music, that while it might be very inspirational, and people might stream it, and it might make you millions of pounds, it's not gonna make it. It's not gonna make you have had that money for a long time. Like even in playing football, look at Leicester City. Like they won the league 8 years ago, and they've just come up to the championship. From the championship now, but it just shows how like
They're saying what? From the Premier League now, they're saying it's going to turn into League On. Man City is going to win every season. Everyone who gets promoted, they're going to get relegated every single season.
Yeah.
Do you think you can just tell a manager, okay, I'm going to give you 20 mil a year, come get my club to win the Premier League, and they're just going to win it by just doing all the things right when you have a juggernaut?
Right. Look at Burnley.
Look at Burnley. They
won 101 points in the Championship, and then 19th in the season. Luton Town, like they had an amazing campaign. They still
they were gonna build a new stadium, bro. They were prepping to build a new stadium.
Who?
But Luton Town, I saw a documentary saying this is the last like Premier League club with a traditional team. You look at their stadium, like next to their stadium is like 10 man's houses.
Yeah.
That's the foundation of their stadium. They were gonna build a new one, but they're getting relegated. I don't think. I think people downplay luck, but he thinks different.
I think it's different with different industries as well. Music, luck. And you said creative roles. Luck is very prominent.
Even being a banker or a
Football.
doctor, or luck is still significant.
It's a lot less significant.
It plays a lot less of a role because you can still, like, let's say you want to get to like being a consultant. You could simply do all the right things, pass the exams, and get there. Whereas if you want to, I don't know, be some crazy doctor doing private practice, only getting like billionaires as clients, you'd have to network to that stage. Whereas. And also, to be fair, you would have to get lucky to land those spots and be able to practice in those areas.
I think if you make certain parameters the same, like few things given, you're living in a middle class household. You've gone to like I don't know a fairly good school. You've got good grades. All those parameters are equal, and you have medical student, for example. Both of them can work up to consultant level in their respective fields, but where the luck dynamic comes in is
who will be more successful.
Is who it comes down to who they happen to meet on their journeys. Like even us three, even sitting here on this podcast, like who would have thought about this like a year ago or 2 years
Would
ago?
I have met either of you independently? I would have never thought, to be honest. Yeah.
Who knows what's gonna happen in 2-3 years time? Like that's why creative stuff is so. It will. That's why creative stuff is so like rewarding because you never really know where it's gonna take you.
That's why life's so beautiful as well. You never know where it's gonna end up.
That's
and
one
I
thing
feel
I
like
learned
you really live life when you're doing something creative. If you're doing something more structured and systematic, like, unless that's what you enjoy, like you enjoy your science, you enjoy your physics, you enjoy your I don't know,
your banking, sitting on the screen.
Like if you actually enjoy that, that's you.
I think even if not creative, it has to be something that gives you purpose. That's what I find with my startup as well. Like I'm doing med school stuff normally, But then times when I get to work on my startup, it's like I'm building something bigger than me, something that could potentially influence tens of thousands of people, if not millions across the world.
Like I've got unlimited like aspirations. I feel like every like month or two I get a new one. So like one of mine eventually is to be like a motivational speaker in school, someone who can like inspire maybe kids from underprivileged backgrounds, or like that type of kind of more charity type work. Another one is also like maybe managing my own music label one day. Like two completely different things, but I have two at least two, or probably even more, which I haven't even thought of right now, visions that I have in mind, which I take micro steps every day to get. And not everyone will see those steps. And you have to, the first step is to be content with. Not everyone will see and credit you for every step that you take. And being able to be happy with what you've done and get your own personal validation is the only thing that I think takes.
Also, one thing I really like about what you said something about, did you say managing or owning your own record label? What is it that you want?
Managing, owning, I haven't really thought of it too technically. Well, that seems like a very wayward goal, but in the more short term, it's to do with gathering together people of similar industries and kind of almost pioneering networks within people.
Yeah, but with the record label thing, you say that's way in the future.
Yeah.
But something I really like about that is that it's a big dream. That is not something you see everyone going about saying, because it ties into the whole luck thing and how privileged we are to be here, to even live in a first world country, to not have to worry about food, water, even in like a cost of living crisis, right? But I think one aspect of luck is the environment that you grow up in can dictate how your mindset and how limited it is in terms of what possibilities out there exist. Because I think my mindset's quite open in terms of I feel like I can do anything. There's like, I have a very toxic view of myself in terms of like, if I see someone doing something or doing something impressive, I'm like, oh, if that's possible, if someone, like a human being can do that, I can do it and potentially do it better.
Toxic.
I don't think that's even
I don't think that's
accurate.
toxic.
I don't even think that's accurate.
In what sense?
Just because someone else does something doesn't mean you can do it.
It depends on the thing.
It depends on what is they.
That's
I don't even think that's
because you're
accurate.
blind to the factors that control it. You get me?
Like I can do a lot of training and achieve a lot. Doesn't mean I'm going to be Neymar, or it doesn't mean I can cure cancer.
The thing is with, at a world-class level, there are certain other factors that play a role, but I think you can get very good at anything. I could get
improve yourself and
You get very good at a lot of things.
I could get very, very good at running, but based on my limb length, bone density, stuff that's out of my control, I probably couldn't reach world class. But I could get very good at chess, but because I don't have a photographic memory to memorize tens of thousands of games, I wouldn't be able to become grandmaster or world class. Yeah. But in general, in day to day, when I see something, like, what's a good example that's not too personal? I can't think of one right now.
But even one, I met a guy who told me he got 100% in one of his exams. He was top of the year in maths. I'm not kidding.
I know who you're talking about.
You know the guy in it. But
yeah.
When he says stuff like I could do that, it's feasible for me to do, or even things like that. And just starting a podcast, I saw people that there's something that's in my repertoire. This is not above my bracket. Those are things that I think I can achieve, and I think I can even push beyond that. Or I look at people who have success in their business, or people that start a phone company, or whatever they do. I just look at that. There's nothing like, even Einstein, like there was nothing special about them. There's nothing in his brain that I didn't have. There wasn't anything there that I don't have.
He was a very smart guy though.
He was but his brain wasn't particularly special. I think they stole his brain.
Yeah, they did studies on it, didn't they?
His brain, whatever they want to tell you, for all their findings, his brain was not particularly special. Or they can say, this one part was 5% bigger. Like, he didn't have anything that the three of us didn't have. Even a brain surgeon, they can do all the studies in the world. They don't have anything that us don't have. That's what I mean when I say I can do all these things. So
That's what I mean. Yeah, I completely agree with you.
obviously, beyond certain capabilities,
To get world class at things, there are other factors at play. But to become very, very, very good at
To become
something,
elite, I think it's not. I think if you're able-bodied and you're relatively able-minded, then to become elite at something is a lot.
it's very possible.
I wouldn't say easier, but it's a lot more possible than you think.
Yeah,
You know.
that's what I meant. So I really liked when you said that it was a very big dream, and I realized that I'm assuming amongst other things that you want to do, but the more. But I was just saying with luck it plays into it, because if you're in a very limited space and let's say for example, you've never seen anyone successful around you, you're going to think that success or that kind of lifestyle, that kind of dream life
It's impossible,
is
it's far-fetched.
impossible because you've never seen anyone live that.
There's
Why
no
would it be
aspiration.
possible? The more I speak to people who are successful, people in my circle, my friends who have done a lot more than me, who are more successful than me, the more I realize these things are possible on a macro level of what's achievable, but on like a day-to-day as well of in terms of running the business, what I can and can't do. Like there was one of my friends I met through my sister. He used to be essentially the marketing guy for, you guys know Pubity, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
He's-
page, yeah.
Yeah, he used to be essentially
the biggest meme pages on this.
yeah, like 100 million plus across all platforms. He used to be the marketing guy for them. And all he did is he connects a brand with Pubity. He's like, oh, this brand has potential. And I think he said each post to get on Pubity is about 25, 30 grand. So he got a cut of that per post.
Wow.
And just for one Instagram post, which is insane. For context, for my
But
page,
for
it was
100
like,
million Instagram followers, it's not a
Yeah.
surprise.
for my page, it was like £50 a post, right? So one of the people that I had conversations with that kind of broke those walls around my mentality, even though I think mine is quite expansive, I don't think mine's limited in any sense, is him. Because he was telling me like, oh, if I had an idea, I'd simply put it into action. If I saw this influencer and this brand, I'd just connect them. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, oh, okay, so if I thought that a Netflix show would be good to shoot as a small series on Pubity, and I wanted to connect those two, I was like, so how would you do that? And he was like, he gets his phone out. He's like, I'd probably contact the marketing director for Netflix. He gets this person's name up, and he's like, okay, click these 3 dots, personalized invite, and write something along like this. And he gave me like a script as well. He was like, oh, look what he uses. He's like, hi, XYZ, I work with Pubity, or we have over 100 million followers on this, something attention grabbing, then something you want, and then just a polite end. And he said that essentially works for him to work with huge brands and stuff like he was telling me he did this deal, I don't know how much I can say on here, but with like Turkish Airlines, and they paid, I think, an influencer 20 grand for 3 videos, and he manufactured that deal as well. So stuff like that, but basically just sending messages, and he just showed me exactly what he did. But in my mind, I don't think it doesn't seem like something that's possible for me to reach out to like the marketing director of Netflix, right? But it's completely possible, and any of us could do it. Not that I'm suggesting that you go out and harass this person.
Have you got their email or something? Maybe.
Not email, but just you can find them on LinkedIn. He just typed marketing director Netflix on LinkedIn
I think it's.
and sent a connection invite, a personalized invite.
If they respond, or how do you know if they respond?
That's the thing. So
If
how
they do, if they don't, that's just luck. That
that aspect is luck. But again,
But
the way he
every
increases that chance that he gets a response is stuff like the people he works with, the experience he has. So the first thing in his message that they will see in their inbox is, hi, I'm whatever, I work with Pubity, that massive figure that stares you in the eyes of 100 million followers across all platforms. Like, I'd be very hard pressed to not respond to that image. So his reply rates would be a lot higher because there is luck, but he minimizes
it.
it.
Had what, 100,000 followers, 500,000.
No, it can still be done. It's just that it's easier.
No. Anything could still be done. I mean, my 5 followers, I could potentially do it, right? But that 100 million is a big factor in it.
It is.
That's why they said Cristiano Ronaldo was the most marketable person in the world. He had like 500 million followers. He was one of the best football players in the world. He's got 5 million. What do you mean? Like, you understand? The factors are there. I understand. What he did is not impossible for us to do. But let's not act like he wasn't already in a good standing to do that.
The thing is, the way he got to that standing as well is in a similar
How did you
vein.
get to working for Pubity?
I'm very curious about where he started. That's what I'm very curious. How did he begin?
To be honest, you'd need him actually to tell you the exact details.
Because I
Bring
think
him
that's
on,
the
bring him
most that's the most important bit.
He's not here. He's in Warwick.
People
Tell him to come down.
people start a story in the middle, and then show you 75% in.
But at the same time, with the 100K page, because I don't think you could put a 100K page and link them with someone big like Netflix. So the 100K page, you could link them with smaller brands, like let's say smaller to media. Like if that's what I was doing to link brands and businesses, I'd probably take a page with 100K that gets X amount of views, and then go to small to medium size, let's say e-commerce companies that do something in their niche, and be like, this is this. We can guarantee you this many views. This is how many views paid sponsorships have gotten with this influence in the past. They're one of the people that works with us as part of our, let's say, agency or company. And this is how that would look. Basically, we could guarantee you this many views on your product, which we see you're trying to promote. So I'd work with stuff that's in a similar league, because you can't, like, obviously you're very right. You can't take 100K. You can't take 100K and like go to like Netflix or something like.
What I've realized through working with some of like the UK's biggest artists and stuff like that is that if you speak to someone as if you're at their level and not kind of make it known that you're kind of reaching above, they will talk to you at their level. Like if you meet I don't know, let's say Jamie Vardy just walking down the street, and you're like, oh my God, Vardy, the most amazing footballer in Leicester, like wow, like I'm such a big fan. He's gonna be like, thanks, and he's not gonna ever care about you again. But if you're like maybe Vardy, listen, I've got a charity which deals with the most underprivileged, talented footballers in Leicester.
You could just be like, oh, you know, we've got 10 other charities that we work with. Speak to this director.
Like, Vardy will be like, he'll point to someone in his team or
he might just say he's not interested, or
they've
already got 9 or 10 other charities.
Yeah, but as I'm saying, you maximize the chance of him giving interest by showing value to yourself, and like almost commercial value to yourself when you're trying to get a higher ticket deal, essentially. You know?
I agree with that. Yeah, I think that comes very naturally when you become more successful as a person, because when you're, I don't know, you can't quantify these leagues, right? But when you're in League 1 and you're talking to someone in League 2 or 3, it seems like you want to treat them like a mentor. You want to treat them like someone who's above you, someone who's like to look up to.
You mean, when you say League 2 or 3, you mean higher leagues?
Higher leagues. I should have made that more specific. League 2 or 3, like people who are at higher leagues, you want to kind of look up to them, put them on a pedestal, but inherently that would set a tone for the relationship, and it wouldn't be.
It becomes more paternal in nature.
Yeah.
Where it's, I'm the one who's got more experience, I'm going to tell you what to do, rather than an equal exchange. I think the perfect dynamic for business is when there is like an equal kind of balance. And even if one person has 100 million followers and this many sponsorships, and the other person is only breaking out, if that person breaking out is confident, stands on their ground, and speaks eloquently about what specifically they're delivering, then them being 3, 4, 5 leagues down below becomes so much less significant. And I only realized that through networking. I genuinely thought that if you're speaking to celebrities and people who have been more successful in their fields than you, they're probably not going to listen to you until you just take a risk, you know, and you realize that it's not as black and white as it seems.
Another thing with that as well, with networking, because I know in your industry it's more that there are a lot of young people that are successful, but in a lot of the fields that I've gone to, so when I go to like health tech events, stuff to do with medicine and technology, which is very much the kind of industries that I'm in, a lot of the more successful people tend to be, or like any marketing stuff, a lot of the more successful people tend to be older. And another thing I've realized is if you want them to help you, and it's a very obvious, more paternal kind of relationship, but it doesn't have to be as well, depending on how you speak and hold yourself. But if you want them to help you, it's very good to come off as someone who's young, very driven, takes initiative, but also has acted on it in the past. So I'm very quick, because a lot of people talk and have nothing to back that. So I'm very quick to kind of demonstrate, oh, this is what I've done, this is what I'm working on, this is the kind of person I am. And then interact with people that way. Then they're a lot more willing to help you, I realize. And that's how my sister actually met the guy I just spoke about earlier with the whole puberty stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because
What
my
was she doing?
sister grew Instagram pages because of me.
Okay.
And she was at some networking event at the Shard, and she was like, that's where she met this guy. And she was like,
Right.
oh, look, I did do this.
Right.
And then she put me in contact with him, and I went down to Warwick and met him.
Good.
But that's another good, also niche point. But are either of you into watches?
Not particularly, but I know a thing or two.
Because I know you know a thing or two, because you noticed a nice watch the other day, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time when there's a watch that I'm into. So I fell into a watch rabbit hole once, but it's not. Like
What watch?
It's a watch. There's only 60 of them made. It's called the 22 Grand Recital Brevet 22 Grand Recital. It is I think it's £472,000.
What brand is it?
Brevet. That's the brand. It's
Brevet.
Brevet 22 Grand. They made only 60, and I think they're still getting made. And if you buy one, you get an engraving of which one you got out of the 60. It's not something like you can go into a shop and buy.
Yeah, I don't
you have
imagine
to
so.
know the right people to buy that watch.
Yeah,
And
I was just
a
gonna.
couple Jacob and Co. watches are not nice.
I was just gonna say, knowing watches makes it very easy to network with successful people, as well as
I
tends
think
to be
not
older.
even that. I think it's what I've heard is that if you get into a sort of thing like say golf and you get around the golf people, you can network with the business people through golf. I heard once, I don't know if this will suit you. It wouldn't suit me, but one thing I heard. Do you know who Kevin Samuels is?
No.
Do you know Kevin Samuels? Oh, he was a businessman.
Is it the guy? Did he die?
Yeah, he died. So basically, he was he worked his way up through corporate America, and once he just described a story of when he wanted to turn up to one of these work events, and he didn't want to come without anyone, so he hired an escort for a night just to come. And he said while he was in the toilet, he said one of the people tapped his shoulder and was like, "Oh, I know the girl that you brought. She's very discreet. I like that you have a taste in discreet people that can help you look professional, whatever, nice arm candy or something." And he says through that he was able to make a business deal. And he said he used to go to strip clubs and then he'd get the strip club people to help entice his business. Like, there's so many different ways, or having a niche or golf or watches, or there's so many different things you can do.
Yeah.
Or I've heard people buy football clubs even though they're not profitable at all. Most football clubs don't even break even. He said they use the football club to make business deals. Bring your client over for dinner and I'll come watch the match at Arsenal in the Skybox. And they said that 100 mil a year you're losing is making you billions. So there are so many different ways you can.
Same thing is what people would sit on charity boards as well, because you're on like big charity boards because you're with other very, very successful people, and it makes you links.
Or
I met
cars. Andrew Tate even spoke about if you buy a Bugatti.
the Bugatti dinner.
There's a Bugatti network you get access to. You'll never. There are so many different ways.
Yeah. With the watches thing, I mean, is none of the other stuff I've done personally, but knowing watches has really helped, because I see like a nice watch on someone, and then I start a conversation about it. Then I start asking them questions about, oh, what'd you do? How'd you get it? And especially at networking events, when you notice the people with the nice watches, because I'm always looking at people's wrists and I'm like, oh, what watch do they have there? And I just identify, then start talking to them.
To do something like that, you need to have a watch to back it up.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
You would in that case, I can easily see one you looking like a thief or a beg, but I've done it similarly just because. But that time you're referring to, I already knew that individual in it. But I feel like in that case, for you to do something like that, you need to have a watch on your own wrist.
It depends. I think it depends on how you hold yourself as well as a person, to not
'Cause
come off like a thief.
You could not even just a thief, just a hypothetical or a beg, but because you could look like a person who looks at watches but can't afford to buy one. There's no manner of conducting yourself that will make you look like someone who doesn't look at watches but can't afford to buy one, kind of thing.
Thing is, in the past, no one's ever assumed that with me when I've spoken to them. I feel like it'd be less likely. But if that would be the case, then
Even
investing in a watch yourself
Even
might
a
be a
little
good
Cartier
idea.
to Cartier dos Santos, just say you got a little something on your wrist, or to I'm a connoisseur in the industry. I don't know.
Yeah, and you can realize that
Like people do it with cars, they have car meetups and they're like, oh, what engine do you, or how do you get into the type of thing. I feel like you need your own thing to sort of buy your
At
way.
meetups, definitely. Yeah. But I just mean on the street or whatever, or at networking events and things. In the past, it's been a good way to start
Have
conversations
you
with more
realised
successful
that,
people.
Nefmin, like through your social media stuff, like the power of how you articulate your words, like not what you say, but how you say it.
Do you mean through content or in DMs?
In terms of DMs, in terms of trying to pitch to high ticket clients.
Thing is, I've never had to pitch because with a lot of the stuff I did, it's like people find out about me, they'll come to me and they'll ask, what are your rates for X, Y, Z?
Oh,
What's your
okay.
experience with that? With pitching?
I've done like freelance commission work for our producer, videographer here, Jordan. And what I've realized is that like over time, the more kind of the more specific you are with your objective, and the more direct you are with what you're going for, the better the reception is from whoever you're pitching to. And
Could you give me an example, like A and B, of like something
A and B, for example. So
What's A and
let's
B?
like something not specific and then something specific that works?
oh right. So let's say like there's a club which is just opening in Leicester now, and let's say they need a DJ. I could picture them be like, I've been DJing in my house for 5-10 years, and I really like it. I find it really cool. Do you think you can give me a slot? Try it out, see how it will be. And while you might think that's a decent approach,
I wouldn't want to hire that person.
So yeah, so like the director there, or like the manager, would look at that and be like, it's too risky to hire. Like that's why like, a lot of people don't get hired. It's because the managers think like
They just want to save bet.
yeah, they want to take the person who's yeah. So if you the same person could say, I have 10 years of experience in DJ, and even if it's just in their house, they just say I have 10 years of experience. That already generates connotations. And another thing you can say is I've worked. Let's say you've done maybe 2 or 3 shows. You can say like I've worked at a wide variety of different shows across many genres, even if it might be only 2 or 3.
You're gonna have to lie.
But, you know,
you're gonna have to sort of find a way to.
It's not as deliberate as lying.
I see what you mean. It's the way you word things.
It's about how you kind of present yourself as being even more like maximizing the skills that you have, but even setting yourself further, like to a point where
Like writing a
you
good
want to
CV.
be.